November 1942, Stalingrad, a city that has become a graveyard. In the ruins of a textile factory, Soviet sniper Sergeant Anatoly Chekov watches a German officer through his scope. 1,000 yards, cold wind, falling snow. The officer walks between positions, inspecting troops unaware. Chekov's finger rests on the trigger. He has made this shot before, 32 times before. But this time is different. This time, someone is watching him watch. Someone has come to Stalingrad specifically to kill him, the deadliest sniper in the Wehrmacht, and Chekov has 72 hours before that hunter finds him. The question isn't if they'll meet, it's who will shoot first. The Ural Mountains had taught Anatoly Chekov patience. He'd grown up hunting in forests where winter lasted 8 months and mistakes meant death. His father, a trapper, had taught him to read tracks in snow, to wait in silence for hours, to understand that hunting wasn't about speed. It was about stillness, about becoming part of the landscape, about knowing when not to move. Those lessons saved his life in Stalingrad. The city had been burning since August. 4 months of fighting that turned streets into trenches and buildings into fortresses. The Germans held the west, the Soviets held the east. Between them, a wasteland of rubble and corpses where men died for yards of ground that didn't matter except that someone else wanted it. Chekov had arrived in September with the 284th Rifle Division. He'd been a regular infantryman then. Good shot, nothing special. But after 2 weeks of house-to-house fighting, his company commander noticed something. Chekov didn't panic, didn't rush, took careful shots, made them count. "You ever hunt before the war?" the commander had asked. "Yes, sir. In the Urals, since I was 8. "We need snipers, good ones. Interested?" Chekov had thought about it. Being a sniper meant isolation, meant crawling through ruins alone, meant making yourself a target for every full German who saw you. But it also meant using his skills, meant making a difference, one shot at a time. "Yes, sir, I'm interested." They'd sent him to sniper school. 5 days of training that should have been 5 weeks. The Soviet army didn't have time for proper training. They needed snipers now, on the line, killing Germans. Chekov learned fast how to judge distance, how to account for wind, how to find positions, how to remain invisible, how to kill efficiently. His first assignment, Mamayev Kurgan, the hill that overlooked Stalingrad. Whoever controlled the hill controlled the city. Both sides bled for it daily. Chekov had taken position in the ruins of a destroyed apartment building, set up his rifle, a Mosin Nagant 9130 with a PE scope. Not the best rifle, but reliable, accurate enough at the ranges he'd be shooting. His spotter was Private Nikolai, 19 years old, farm kid from Ukraine, scared but trying not to show it. "How many Germans you killed?" Nikolai had asked. "None, yet." "You nervous?" "No, you?" "Terrified." Chekov had smiled. "Good. Fear keeps you sharp. Just remember, they're more scared than you. They're exposed. We're hidden. We have the advantage." That first day, Chekov had killed 3 Germans, an officer at 800 yards, a machine gunner at 600, a soldier carrying ammunition at 400, clean shots, quick deaths. They probably didn't hear the bullet that killed them. By the end of the first week, his count was 9. By the end of the first month, 22. By November, 32 confirmed kills. Everyone documented, everyone verified by a witness. The Soviet army kept careful records, propaganda value, heroes of Stalingrad, symbols of resistance. Lieutenant Danilov, the political officer, had started writing about Chekov, articles for Red Star newspaper. The Ghost of Stalingrad, the hunter from the Urals, making him famous, making him a symbol. Chekov didn't care about fame. He cared about killing Germans. Every officer he dropped was one less person giving orders. Every soldier he killed was one less rifle shooting at his comrades. It was mathematics, simple, brutal, necessary. On November 10th, everything changed. Chekov had set up in a bombed factory overlooking a German supply route. Good position, 300 yards to the road, clear sight lines. He'd been there since Oro 400, waiting for targets. At Ero 8:30, a German convoy appeared. Trucks, troops, an officer walking between vehicles. Perfect target. Chekov settled behind his rifle, adjusted for wind. Nikolai called the range through the spotting scope. 800 meters, wind 3 meters per second, left to right. Chekov adjusted, breathed. The world compressed to his crosshairs and the target. Nothing else existed. Not the cold, not the city, not the war. Just the shot. He fired. The German officer dropped. Clean hit. Center mass. Confirmed kill, Nikolai said. 33. Chekov worked the bolt. Ejected the spent casing. Chambered. Another round. Scanned for secondary targets. That's when he felt it. A presence. A sensation. The awareness that comes from years of hunting. The knowledge that you're being watched. He froze. Didn't move the rifle. Didn't turn his head. Just felt. Nikolai, you see anything unusual? Nikolai scanned with the spotting scope. Negative. Just Germans taking cover after your shot. But Chekov felt it. Someone was looking at him through a scope from somewhere. We're leaving. Now. Slow. Don't stand. Crawl backward. But now. They crawled backward, away from the position. 10 meters, 20. Then Chekov heard it. A sharp crack, a bullet impacting exactly where he'd been lying. Nikolai's face went white. Someone shot at us. From where? Chekov had already spotted the location. A building across the factory. 1,200 meters. Long shot. Very long shot. Most snipers couldn't make that shot. Chekov couldn't make that shot reliably. But someone had. And someone had waited until... Chekov fired before shooting, had watched him kill the officer, had tracked him, had taken a shot only when certain. We need to report this, Chekov said. Back at company headquarters, Lieutenant Danilov listened to the report. His face was grim. The Germans have brought in a counter-sniper, specifically for you. How do you know? Danilov pulled out a leaflet. German propaganda, dropped from aircraft. Chekov couldn't read German, but Danilov translated. It says the Ghost of Stalingrad will be silenced. Major König is coming. That's all. Just that message. Who is Major König? We don't know much. Sniper school instructor, Eastern Front veteran, over 140 confirmed kills, the best they have. And they sent him here, for you. Chekov processed this. He'd become enough of a problem that the Germans sent their best sniper to kill him. It was almost flattering. Almost. When did he arrive? We think yesterday. You're the third Soviet sniper to report being shot at, by someone extremely skilled. The other two are dead. Chekov felt the weight of that. 2 snipers. Experienced. Dead. Killed by someone better. Orders? Danilov hesitated. Kill him before he kills you. You have 72 hours. Why 72 hours? Because in 72 hours there's a major push. We need our best sniper alive for it. If König is still hunting you then, we pull you off the line. Can't risk losing you. Chekov understood. He'd become propaganda. A symbol. Symbols couldn't die publicly. Better to hide him than let König kill him and hand the Germans a propaganda victory. I'll find him. Anatoly. Danilov's voice softened, rare for a political officer. He's very good. Better than anyone you've faced. Don't take unnecessary risks. I'm a sniper. All my risks are necessary. Chekov left headquarters and returned to his position. Different one now. König knew his old location. Couldn't use it again. He set up in a collapsed building overlooking the factory district. Nikolai beside him with the spotting scope. You really think you can beat him? Nikolai asked. Young, uncertain. I don't know, but I'm going to try. What if he's better? Then you'll have a new sniper to spot for. Nikolai didn't laugh. Neither did Chekov. It wasn't a joke. For 3 hours they watched, scanned the ruins, looked for any sign of König, movement, reflection, anything, nothing. At 1400, Chekov saw something, a glint, brief, from a building 600 meters away. Could be glass, could be a scope lens catching light. Nikolai, 600 meters, 2 o'clock, upper floor of the red building. You see anything? Nikolai scanned. Negative. What did you see? Maybe nothing, maybe a scope reflection. They watched that building for 30 minutes. No movement, no additional reflections. But Chekov's instincts told him something was there. He made a decision. Risky, but necessary. I'm going to expose my helmet, see if he shoots. That's crazy. It's controlled. Watch. Chekov took his helmet off, placed it on the end of his rifle, slowly raised it above the rubble they were hiding behind. Just for a second. Then dropped it. Nothing happened. He raised it again, held it there. 3 seconds. A shot rang out. The helmet flew off the rifle. A hole punched clean through it. König had taken the bait and revealed his position. "Got you," Chekov whispered. Now they knew where König was. Now they could hunt him, but König was smart. By the time Chekov repositioned for a shot, the German sniper was gone. The window was empty. He'd taken his shot and moved, exactly what Chekov would have done. This was going to be difficult. As darkness fell, Chekov and Nikolai retreated to a safer position. They couldn't hunt at night. Too dangerous, too easy to walk into an ambush. Tomorrow they'd try again. Tomorrow the real hunt would begin. 72 hours, 3 days, to find and kill the best sniper Germany had. Chekov cleaned his rifle, checked his ammunition, thought about König, about the man hunting him, about the duel that had already begun. In the Urals, his father had taught him something about hunting. The most dangerous prey isn't the one that runs. It's the one that hunts you back. König was hunting him, and Chekov was hunting König. Two predators, same city. One would leave alive. Chekov intended to make sure it was him. Day 2 began with fog, thick, gray, rolling off the Volga River and settling into the ruins like a living thing. Visibility dropped to 50 meters, maybe less. Chekov crouched in a new position, a basement entrance overlooking the factory district. Nikolai beside him, both silent, both waiting for the fog to lift. Fog was dangerous for snipers. Couldn't see targets, couldn't see threats, but it also provided cover for movement. König could be repositioning right now, could be getting closer. "You think he's moving?" Nikolai whispered. "Yes, he's smart. He knows we know his last position. He won't use it again." So we're back to guessing where he is. Not guessing, thinking. Put yourself in his position. Where would you go? Nikolai studied the ruins. Thought like a hunter. Somewhere with multiple sight lines, multiple escape routes, somewhere unexpected. Exactly. König isn't going to pick an obvious sniper position. He's going to pick somewhere we wouldn't look. So where wouldn't we look? Chekov scanned the landscape. Most sniper positions were in upper floors of buildings. Height advantage, clear views, but also obvious, predictable. Low, Chekov said. He'll go low, ground level, maybe a basement window, somewhere no one expects a sniper to be. That's crazy. You lose all your sight advantages. But you gain surprise, and König doesn't need height. He's good enough to make the shot from anywhere. The fog began to lift at 0900, slowly, revealing the ruins piece by piece. Chekov and Nikolai remained motionless, watching, waiting. At 0930, Chekov saw movement, brief, 40 meters away, a figure crossing between buildings, German uniform, officer, easy target. But Chekov didn't fire, didn't move, because his instincts screamed, trap. "You see him?" Nikolai whispered. "Yes. That's an officer, easy shot." "Too easy. König knows where we are generally. He's baiting us. That officer is bait." "How do you know?" "Because it's what I'd do." They watched the officer cross safely, disappear into a building, no shot taken. 30 seconds later, Chekov saw it. A glint, from a ground-level window, 45 meters away, right where someone would position if they were covering the officer's route. "There," Chekov whispered. "Ground level. The collapsed shop with the blue door." Nikolai trained the spotting scope. "I don't see anything." "You won't, but he's there. I can feel it." For an hour, they watched that window. No movement, no additional signs. But Chekov's certainty grew. König was there, waiting, patient, just like Chekov. At 1100, Chekov made a decision. "I'm going to move. Draw him out. You stay here. Keep watching that window. If he shows himself, mark the position." "Sarge, that's an order. Do it." Chekov crawled backward out of their position, moved through the rubble, circled wide, approached the shop with the blue door from a different angle. It took 30 minutes, slow, careful, every movement deliberate. In sniper warfare, speed got you killed, patience kept you alive. He reached a position 20 meters from the blue door, close enough to see inside the darkened window, not close enough to identify a target clearly. He waited, watched, looked for any sign of movement. Nothing. Maybe he was wrong. Maybe König wasn't there. Maybe a sound, subtle, metal on stone, someone shifting position inside that room. Chekov froze. König was there, had been there all morning, watching, waiting for Chekov to take the bait, but now Chekov was too close. At this range, a rifle was almost... Useless. If he tried to shoot through that window, König would hear him move, would react, would kill him. Chekov needed a different approach. He pulled a grenade from his belt, German stick grenade. Captured. The Soviets used them when available. He checked the fuse. 4 seconds. Enough. He estimated the distance to the window, 20 meters. He could make that throw. Probably. One chance. If he missed, König would know exactly where he was, would kill him. Chekov pulled the string, activated the fuse, stood, threw. The grenade tumbled through the air, through the window, into the room. Chekov dropped flat, covered his head. The explosion was monstrous in the confined space. Debris blew out through the window. Smoke. Dust. The building shook. Chekov waited 5 seconds, then rushed forward. Rifle ready, he reached the window, looked inside. Empty. The room was destroyed. Rubble everywhere, but no body, no blood, no König. There was a door at the back of the room, open. König had escaped. Seconds before the grenade, had heard Chekov, had reacted, had lived. "Damn," Chekov whispered. He searched the room, found evidence, a scope lens, cracked, abandoned. König's position marker scratches on the wall indicating range to various landmarks, and something else, a message, scratched into the wall in Russian, 33 kills, not enough. König knew Chekov's count, was taunting him, psychological warfare. Chekov felt anger, controlled it, turned it cold, used it. "We'll see," he said to the empty room. He returned to Nikolai's position, reported what happened. The young spotter looked worried. "He almost had you." "Almost doesn't count. He's in your head now. That message is just words. He's trying to shake me. Won't work." But it did work, a little. Chekov could admit that to himself. König was good, very good, and playing psychological games Chekov hadn't expected. The afternoon was quiet, both snipers repositioning, neither presenting targets. A chess game where both players knew the other's moves. At 1700, Nikolai asked the question Chekov had been avoiding. "What if you can't kill him? What if the 72 hours runs out? Then I get pulled off the line and someone else tries." And König wins. König doesn't win, he just survives. Like me, like everyone in this city trying to live one more day. As darkness fell, Chekov and Nikolai found shelter in a collapsed building. They couldn't risk a fire, couldn't risk light, just cold, hunger, exhaustion. Nikolai fell asleep quickly. Chekov remained awake, thinking, planning, analyzing the day. König was smart, patient, experienced, everything the report said and more. This wasn't going to be won by luck. It was going to be won by whoever made the first mistake. Chekov couldn't afford mistakes. Day 3 started with gunfire, not sniper fire. Artillery. The Germans were shelling Soviet positions. Preparation for an attack. Buildings that were already rubble became finer. Rubble. Chekov and Nikolai huddled in their shelter, waited for the barrage to end. 15 minutes of hell, then silence. They emerged. The landscape had changed, again. Buildings that had existed yesterday were gone today. Landmarks erased, sightlines altered. König would be repositioning too, taking advantage of the new terrain. At RO 800, Chekov spotted something. A body. Soviet soldier. Dead. Lying in the open, 50 meters away, exposed. "Sarge, we should recover the body," Nikolai said. "Bring him back." Chekov studied the body. Something was wrong. The position was too perfect, too exposed, too much like bait. "No, it's a trap." "You don't know that." "I do. König positioned that body. He's watching it, waiting for someone to try to recover it. Anyone who goes for it dies." That's horrible. That's war." They watched the body from their position for 2 hours, waiting to see if anyone else would take the bait. At 10:15, a Soviet soldier appeared. Young. Didn't see the body at first, then did, stopped, looked around, made a decision to recover it. "No," Chekov whispered. "Don't." The soldier moved forward, reached the body, knelt down. A shot rang out. The soldier's head snapped back. He fell across the first body. Chekov tracked the sound, identified the source. A building 200 meters east, second floor, behind a destroyed water tower. "Got him," Chekov said. "You sure?" "Watch." Chekov aimed carefully, not at where König was, at where König would have to move to escape. The only route from that position was down a specific set of stairs. Chekov could see the doorway from here. He waited. Nikolai watched through the spotting scope. 30 seconds passed, a minute, 2 minutes, then movement. A figure exiting the building, German uniform, moving quickly. That him? Nikolai asked. Maybe a decoy. Chekov tracked the figure, calculated the shot. 800 meters, moving target, wind. He fired, the figure dropped. Hit! Nikolai called. But Chekov felt wrong. Something wasn't right. The way the figure moved, the way it fell. Get the scope on him. Nikolai focused. His face went pale. Sarge, that's not König. That's just a regular soldier. He's really dead. Chekov felt sick. He'd killed the wrong man. König had used a decoy, sent another soldier out knowing Chekov would shoot, and now König knew exactly where Chekov was, because Chekov had fired. Move, now! They scrambled backward, away from their position, just in time. A bullet impacted exactly where Chekov had been. König's countershot, instantaneous, precise. He almost got you, Nikolai gasped. He's playing me, using my tactics against me. They relocated. Again. 3 times in 3 days. Running, repositioning, trying to gain advantage, failing. At 1400, 48 hours into the duel, Nikolai said what they were both thinking. Sarge, maybe we should stop, pull back, live to fight another day. Chekov considered it. He could retreat, could let König win this round, could survive. But then König would kill other Soviet snipers, would kill soldiers, would kill Nikolai eventually. Someone had to stop him, and that someone was Chekov. No, we finish this, today. How? He's beaten every move we've made. Chekov thought. König was better than him. That was becoming clear. More experienced, more skilled, better training. But Chekov had one advantage. König didn't know him. Not really. Knew his kill count, knew his tactics, didn't know Chekov's desperation, didn't know how far Chekov would go. I have an idea, Chekov said. You're not going to like it. I already don't like it. I'm going to make myself bait, draw him out. You're going to kill him when he shows. That's suicide. It's the only way. He won't show for anything else, but he'll show for me, for the kill he came here to make. Nikolai's hands shook. I can't make that shot. I'm not good enough. You're good enough. You've been watching me for weeks. You know how to shoot. You just need to trust yourself. And if I miss, then we both die. But we die trying. At 1600, Chekov positioned himself, exposed, visible, on a second-floor balcony overlooking the factory district. Nikolai was 300 meters away, hidden, with Chekov's rifle and scope, aimed at the areas König might use. Chekov had a pistol, nothing else. If König shot him before Nikolai shot König, that was it. Over. He waited, exposed, cold, certain this was insane but knowing it was necessary. 20 minutes passed, 30. Maybe König wasn't watching, maybe he felt it again, that presence, that awareness of being in someone's crosshairs. König was watching, lining up the shot, taking his time, making sure. Chekov stood perfectly still, made himself a perfect target. Everything in him screamed to move, to take cover, to run. He didn't, just waited, trusted Nikolai, hoped it was enough. He heard the shot. König's rifle, felt the impact. His shoulder, fire, pain. He fell, hit the balcony, couldn't move his right arm. Then he heard another shot. Different sound, his Mosin-Nagant, Nikolai's shot, then silence. Chekov lay on the balcony, bleeding, waiting. Was König dead? Had Nikolai made the shot? Footsteps, running. Nikolai appeared, face white. I got him, he's down. Chekov exhaled, pain, relief, victory. Check, make sure. Nikolai left, returned 5 minutes later. He's dead, clean headshot, it's over. Chekov felt consciousness fading, blood loss, shock. Get medic, already called, just hold on. The last thing Chekov remembered before darkness was Nikolai's face, young, terrified, but proud. They'd won, against the best Germany had. They'd won. Chekov woke in a field hospital, underground, safe. The smell of antiseptic and blood and too many wounded men in too small a space. His shoulder was bandaged, throbbing, but he was alive. A doctor appeared, older man, exhausted. You're awake. Good. The bullet went through clean, missed the bone. You'll live. Full recovery in 6 weeks. König? The German sniper? Dead. Your spotter confirmed it. Headshot, very clean. Chekov exhaled. It was over. 3 days of cat and mouse. 3 days of fear and calculation and impossible decisions. Over. Where's Nikolai? Outside, waiting. He hasn't left since bringing you in. They let Nikolai visit. The young private looked different, older somehow, changed by the kill he'd made. How you feeling, Sarge? Like I got shot. How are you? Nikolai sat, quiet. I killed him. I keep seeing it, the way he fell, the way his head... He stopped, started again. I know he was trying to kill you, I know it was necessary, but I keep seeing it. Chekov understood. The first kill stayed with you, changed you, marked you. It doesn't get easier. You learn to live with it, but it doesn't get easier. How many have you killed? 34 now. You? 1. Nikolai's voice was hollow. Just 1. And it feels like too many. It is too many. Every death is too many. But we're at war. The Germans are in our city, killing our people. We stop them or die trying. That's the only choice we have. Was König evil? Or just a soldier like us? Chekov had thought about this, about König, about the man who'd come to kill him. I don't know, he was doing his job, like me, like you. War makes enemies of men who might have been friends in another life. Nikolai nodded, didn't speak, just sat there, processing, adjusting to what he'd become. Lieutenant Danilov visited the next day, brought newspapers. Red Star had written about the duel, propaganda pieces. The ghost defeats the hunter. Soviet sniper triumphs over Nazi killer. They're making you a hero, Danilov said. I'm not a hero. I got shot. Nikolai saved me. Nikolai will get his recognition too, but you're the symbol, the man who defeated Germany's best. That matters for morale. Chekov didn't argue. The Soviet Union needed heroes, needed victories to celebrate. If his survival helped soldiers believe they could win, fine. He'd be a symbol. What happens now? You recover, then back to the line. We need you. The war isn't over. König's dead. The threat's gone. There will be other Königs, other German snipers. The fight continues. Chekov knew this was true. König had been exceptional, but there were other skilled snipers in the Wehrmacht, other men who'd come to Stalingrad to kill Russians, and Chekov would kill them. Because that was his job now, his role, the thing he was good at. He spent 3 weeks recovering. The shoulder healed slowly, physical therapy, learning to use his arm again, to hold a rifle, to aim. Nikolai visited daily. They talked about small things, home, family, the future after the war. Neither mentioned König, neither talked about killing, but it was there, always there, between them. In December, Chekov returned to duty, different position now. The Germans had pushed forward in some areas, retreated in others. The map of Stalingrad changed daily. His first day back, Chekov took position overlooking a German supply route. Nikolai beside him, the spotting scope, the rifle, the familiar routine. A German soldier appeared, 800 meters, carrying ammunition, young, maybe 20, exposed. Chekov lined up the shot. His hands were steady. The shoulder didn't hurt anymore. Everything was ready. But he hesitated. This soldier wasn't König, wasn't a threat, just a kid carrying supplies, doing his job, would die if Chekov pulled the trigger, would live if he didn't. Sarge, Nikolai whispered, you okay? Chekov realized he'd been holding his breath. He exhaled, adjusted, fired. The German dropped, 35th kill. Why'd you hesitate? Nikolai asked. I don't know, thinking too much. About König? About all of it. Every shot, every death, they add up. You want to stop? Chekov thought about the question. Did he want to stop killing? Yes. Did he want to stop being a sniper? Yes. Could he stop while the war continued? No. No, we keep going until it's over. The Battle of Stalingrad ended in February 1943. The Germans surrendered. 3 months after König died. 90,000 German prisoners marched into captivity, a Soviet victory. Turning point of the war, Chekov's final kill count from Stalingrad, 49 confirmed kills. The number meant nothing to him, just mathematics. Each number was a life, a man who'd had a name, a family, a future. Gone because Chekov had pulled the trigger. He was transferred to other fronts: Ukraine, Belarus, Poland. The Red Army pushed west, toward Germany, toward victory. Chekov killed 73 more Germans before the war ended. Total count, 122 confirmed kills. He received medals: Hero of the Soviet Union, Order of Lenin, ceremonies he didn't want to attend, speeches about his courage and skill, propaganda about Soviet superiority. He accepted them, because refusing would be insulting. But he felt nothing. No pride, no satisfaction, just emptiness where something human used to be. Nikolai stayed with him through the war, spotter, friend, brother. They fought together until Berlin, until the end. In April 1945, the war in Europe ended. Germany surrendered. The killing stopped. Chekov returned to the Urals, to the mountains where he'd learned to hunt. His parents were dead, killed during the war by Germans who'd never reached Stalingrad but had destroyed everything else. His sister had survived, married a soldier, had children. Chekov tried to return to normal life, worked as a factory foreman, married in 1947, a quiet woman named Irina who didn't ask about the war, who understood silence, who gave him space to heal. They had no children. Chekov couldn't explain why, just felt wrong, bringing children into a world where war could take them, where men killed each other over land and ideology and things that didn't matter. Nikolai visited once in 1952. They sat in Chekov's small apartment, drank vodka, didn't talk about the war, didn't talk about Stalingrad, just sat, comfortable, two men who'd survived something together. "You ever think about König?" Nikolai asked finally. "Every day," Chekov admitted. "I think about all of them, but König most. He was like me, a hunter, doing his job, and we killed him for it." "He was trying to kill you." "I know, doesn't make it easier. Does it ever get easier?" "No, you learn to live with it, but it doesn't get easier." They finished the bottle. Nikolai left the next morning. Chekov never saw him again. Heard later that Nikolai had died in 1965, heart attack, peaceful, lucky. Chekov lived into the 1980s. Quiet life, factory work, home, Irina, the routine of civilian existence. But the dreams never stopped. Dreams of Stalingrad, of ruins, of crosshairs, of faces in scopes, of pulling triggers, of watching men fall. König was in those dreams most often, not dead. Alive, aiming at Chekov, the same duel, over and over. Sometimes Chekov won, sometimes König did. The dreams didn't care about history, about what actually happened, just played out the fear over and over. Irina held him when he woke from nightmares, didn't ask questions, just held him. Let him remember he was safe, that the war was over, that König was dead 40 years and couldn't hurt him anymore. In 1983, a historian found Chekov, writing a book about Stalingrad snipers, wanted an interview. Chekov almost refused, but something made him agree, maybe the need to speak, to tell the truth, to counter the propaganda that had made him a hero. They talked for 6 hours. The historian asked about tactics, about kills, about the duel with König. "How did you feel when König died?" the historian asked. Chekov thought for a long time before answering. Relief, fear, guilt, all at once. He was the best I'd ever faced, maybe better than me. Nikolai saved my life. But König, he was just doing his job. Like me. And we killed him for it. Do you regret it? Regret killing him? No. He would have killed me, killed others. It was necessary. But I think about him, about the man he was, about the fact that in different circumstances we might have been friends, both hunters, both skilled, both human. What would you want people to know about being a sniper, about the war? Chekov looked at the historian. Young man, never seen war, never killed, never lived with the weight of 122 deaths. I'd want them to know that every number in those kill counts was a person, had a name, had people who loved them, had a life that ended because I pulled a trigger. The propaganda makes it sound glorious, heroic. It wasn't. It was necessary, but it wasn't glorious. And König? König was a professional, doing his job. I respected him, still do. He came to Stalingrad to kill me. I survived. He didn't. That's war, but I don't celebrate it. I just survived it. The interview was published in 1985. Chekov received letters from veterans. Some thanked him. Some criticized him for not being patriotic enough. Some just wanted to connect with someone who understood. Chekov answered none of them. The past was past. Nothing to add. Anatoly Chekov died in 1987 at age 73. Heart failure. Quick, peaceful. His funeral was small. Irina, his sister, a few factory workers, and one old man who traveled from Moscow introduced himself as a historian researching König. "I wanted you to know," the man said to Irina after the service. "I found König's family in Germany. I told them about your husband, about the duel, about the respect your husband had for König." "What did they say?" König's son said his father had written about Soviet snipers, about their skill, about respecting the enemy. He would have respected your husband too. Irina thanked him. Didn't know what else to say. The legacy of Anatoly Chekov isn't in history books, isn't in propaganda. It's in the complicated truth of war, that enemies can respect each other, that killing, even when necessary, leaves scars. That survival isn't victory, it's just survival. König came to Stalingrad with 140 kills, a legend, the best Germany had. He died there, killed by a Soviet spotter who'd never fired a critical shot before. War doesn't care about legends, doesn't care about skill, just about who shoots first. Chekov survived with 122 kills, more than most, less than some. The number didn't matter. What mattered was that he lived, came home, built a life, carried the weight of those deaths but didn't let them destroy him. That's the real victory. Not the duel, not the kills, but the life lived after. The choice to keep living when war had taken so much. 72 hours, 3 days, 2 snipers, 1 city, 1 survived, and for 40 years after, that survivor tried to understand why. Why him and not König? Why he lived and 122 others died? Why war required men to become killers and then asked them to be human again? He never found answers, just lived with the questions. That was enough, had to be enough. In the end, Anatoly Chekov was a hunter from the Urals who went to war, who killed when necessary, who survived when luck and skill aligned, who came home and tried to be human again. König was a hunter from Germany who went to war, who killed when necessary, who met someone better or luckier or both, who didn't come home. 2 men, same skills, different outcomes. The mathematics of war, random, brutal, meaningless. The only meaning is what you make after, how you live, how you carry the weight, how you honor the dead by living well. Chekov tried. For 40 years, tried to live well, to honor those who didn't survive, to be something more than a sniper, more than a killer, more than a number in a propaganda piece. He was just a man who hunted, who survived, who remembered, who carried the weight until he couldn't anymore, then rested. That's enough. That's all any of us can do. Survive. Remember, live with the weight, and when it's finally too heavy, put it down and rest.